Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another first impressions video. In today's first impressions video, we are taking a look at my brand new SCAR 17S. I got no sponsors to the channel right now, so if you want to help out Firearm Freedom, this channel, just hit that subscribe button and comment down below. I appreciate seeing your comments. Furthermore, here it comes. You guys know the deal. We got crazy music, me doing a weird yoga pose. It is FF Lifestyle. It is my B channel. It's an adventure vlog channel, not gun related. If you're like, you know what, I am basically anti-gun at this point and I don't want to see any more gun content on my feed, I have the solution for you. Of course, sarcasm there. If you are looking for adventure sports, skateboarding, longboarding, snowboarding, mountain biking, crazy hikes, random stuff, random reviews, watch collections, bodybuilding content, it's all on that B channel. All right. I got to stop with the panic purchasing, okay? This has not, I will never financially recover from the news that we have continually received in this industry. The Glock that you guys would have seen prior to this video, that's a no big deal. It was just a good deal, okay? That wasn't necessarily a panic buy. I don't think that anything's gonna happen with Glocks to see them in like the 1,000 jelly bean area, okay? But when it came to the news of the SCAR, I was actually a little bit alarmed. I have always kind of been down with the SCAR 17. I have heard so many people just crap all over this rifle. They're way out of my price point. So it was never a rifle that I was like, I don't know, but I loved the look of them. And of course, Call of Duty, right? I love defending Burger Town with this rifle many, many times over. And it was always a rifle where I was like, if the stars aligned, I would like to have that rifle. And I would like to decide for myself if it's good or if it's bad. Recently, those feelings kind of got fueled even more. I was able to shoot my boss's SCAR 17, and his is done up with the KDG rail and a few other things. And that was the first 17 that I've shot. I've done a review on the 16 on this channel, and I'll be honest with you, the 16 didn't really do it for me as much. It was a great rifle, but I just would kind of prefer an AR at that point with the price that that rifle came in at. But then I shot his 17, and it was maybe like 10 rounds. And from those 10 rounds, I was like, I gotta get one of these rifles. And I found this rifle on GB, a person that had 0 reviews, 0 past sales. So it was like definitely just chilling there. But I saw it had a razor, the mount, some mags. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. I'll come back to it. And then the following day, FN dropped their official "we are discontinuing this line" post. And I'm like, oh man, dude, it's going to skyrocket. I know it. And they absolutely did. These rifles were already, like, they were out there for like 2,500 jelly beans, but you could not, like, it was a little harder to find them. And then overnight, the base rifle went to 3,900. Overnight. It was just like used, garbage condition, 3,900. Picked up this rifle, okay, for 4,000 beans, flat. And that came with the rifle, base rifle as you see it, the Geisley trigger, Knight's Armament rear sight, the Parker Mountain Machine QD slots. It came with the Vortex ADM quick detach mount, the Vortex Razor Gen 2 1-6, and it also came with 8 magazines overall. That was the deal. And I saw that. I went out on a limb. Like, you could 100% have been getting scammed, but I'm like, it's too good. I gotta scoop it up. Like, even if I were to part with this scope, it's still a great deal. And I did, and it was a great deal. Shout out to the dude who I got this from. You now subscribe to my channel, and you might be watching this video. You are a gem, my friend, a gem in the rough of garbage deals out there. You actually came through with an incredible deal, and you are a super, super cool person to work with. So I really appreciate you. I actually wanted a reciprocating charging handle model. I was searching for a reciprocated charging handle model. I actually like this. I swap it to the other side, and I'm treating this basically like an AK. And I do like the fact that I have a forward assist, a firm forward assist on this bolt carrier group. So that I actually do like. I forgot to mention, this is an upgrade as well with the extended latch there. And this is everything I had hoped it would be. As you notice here, I have a charred up Surefire Scout lying on the table, and that is because this was absolutely true to its reputation of needing Loctite or Vibratight on every single freaking piece on this gun. I made a post about this rifle because I was so excited after shooting it at the range, and the post said, if the word violence was a rifle, it would be the Scar 17, and that is very, very accurate. I thought I tightened all this stuff well, but at the end of the day, you're talking every little piece needs Vibratight is what I'm going to try, or at the very least blue Loctite, and torque that sucker down. My light flew off mid-range day towards the end, and then my Holosun Iris, as you can see there, is almost off, but that actually stayed on there. And my True North 08 also got loose on the bottom, and I did not blue Loctite any of this stuff as I should. So you are just simply not going to get away with torquing down this stuff hard. You're going to have to actually make sure that you torque it down hard with the proper Loctite, and it will hopefully stay tight. I do have en route a KDG full length rail with the riser to get it to the proper height of the top rail en route currently for this rifle. So I'm very excited to get that out. I was really looking for the Midwest quad rail. I still am, but I'm having a hell of a time finding that rail. So at the moment, I had this stuff configured for the first range day, but this will be completely transformed in an update video to come probably in about a week. as I just picked up this part of the rifle, the Iris came right off. So take back what I said at the this is exactly how it came out of the range bag. So the Iris was about 3 seconds away from falling off as well. I'm just going to unplug the crane plug at the moment. We're going to keep that aside. I need some serious Loctite on these parts. This rifle, man, if you thought the HK51 was the angry gun, this rifle has some fury, dude. It's got some fury. It did have 2 malfunctions. I did, of course, clean and properly lubricate the rifle, but I was running it at the 1030 position. Now, there's essentially 2 gas settings on the Scar 17. You have the 1030 position, or in other words, the void your warranty position, that's designed to be essentially slightly reduced gas for running it suppressed. And you have the 12 o'clock position, which is full opened up gas. You got all the fury of the system. I was running it at that 1030 position, and again, in doing that, I did have one failure to eject, and it was basically pooping out the brass. It felt great. It was a very low recoiling setting, but again, I think it was a little bit more sluggish with that, and I decided because of that failure to eject, it may have been that the rifle needed a little bit more gas, so I clocked it into the 1230 position, had 0 failures to eject after that, and the brass was absolutely flying to the moon after that. So that malfunction, I'm having a hard time counting it as necessarily a malfunction because I was running it in the gas setting that, you know, may or may not run some standard XM80 sort of ammunition. When it came to the second malfunction, because I have a strange, tiny little mind, I like the idea of having this rifle as my one rifle to rule them all. Sitting in home defense, sitting in a grab, go-to-war situation. You might think I'm insane, but that was kind of what I envisioned the SCAR 17. The general choice inside structures is Hornady critical defense. And the reason why is it actually does a relatively good job effectively stopping the threat immediately, and then also having a lot less energy going through interior structures. That's still going. It's still exiting the home probably with a miss, but it has a far less likelihood of carrying that energy over and over again, and that's with a lot of different testing, and that's also why law enforcement agencies use that 308 critical defense for any sort of urban sniping roles. It did not like the flat nose bullet. That polymer tip was just a no-go in this rifle. I had a failure to feed with that, and it was absolutely because of that flat nose ammunition. Now, I do want to say that my glorious LMT, which shot nowhere near as soft and smooth as this SCAR 17, did feed all the hollow points that I put through it. But in looking at the feed ramps, you have a much more generous feed ramp in the LMT than you do in the SCAR 17. So I think that's just a reasonable assumption that this is more designed as a battle rifle role with XM80 just chugging through some bulk military grade ammunition, and that is exactly what it's designed for. And in that role, it did it very, very well. But I am going to bring it to the range with the new rail and some Spear Gold Dot, because that would be my follow-up ammunition of choice for any sort of a quote-unquote defensive role. It's quite a bit less of a hollow point in that ammunition, and it should be a little bit easier to feed. I have another data point. My boss and his SCAR 17 tried to run that ballistic tip ammunition, and I mean, the actual ballistic tip was flying off in the chamber. It's just a very violent gun for that type of ammunition. It wasn't a hard malfunction, racked the bolt a little bit, and we were good to go. But still, it is worth noting that it had those two malfunctions. Although the little short that I did and the way that we were filming with the GoPro and all of those things looked incredibly violent. It really did. But that was the purpose. I wanted it to look violent and dramatic. It was really not bad at all. In fact, I have no soreness in my shoulder the following day after shooting this rifle, and even the day of. It is an unbelievably pleasant battle rifle to shoot. And as far as the weight of this thing, it looks like such a behemoth, but it's so portable. It's so light, and with the folding side Ugg boot stock that you got on here, especially if you got the SBR barrel, which I don't plan on doing with this, but this is a very compact rifle, still being chambered in a full-size round. Now, normally I would see a rifle like this and be like, oh man, that's light, that's 308, that is going to beat you up. But at the end of the day, it just didn't. There's a lot of movement going on, but all that movement, all that violent looking motion actually ends up soaking up the recoil within the gun itself, and it doesn't translate to the shoulder. So for me, it was one of the best shooting battle rifles that I have ever shot, and that was no contest. I'm just being blatantly honest with you guys. I truly believe that the SCAR 17, after owning one and shooting one, is one of the top tier battle rifles that you can buy. It is not a top-tier DMR or anything like that. I think that has been pretty well proven at this point, that it is a very battle-accurate rifle. But for me, I think a lot of the hate is unwarranted. Yes, it's a very expensive rifle, but quite frankly, with the quality of the parts, I don't feel that the price is necessarily that far off. 4,000 beans? No. But when it comes to the original price that you could find these at of like 3,000 beans, very reasonable. Like I do believe that this rifle is worth that much money, and I say that surprisingly. I did not think that was going to be the case. My only hate that remained to the SCAR 17 before owning one was, dude, that price is unbelievably high. Trying to separate the company from the gun, do I agree with anything that FN says about suppressors voiding the warranty? Absolutely not. Removing the company and looking at just simply the rifle in front of me, I gotta say, it's a pretty banging rifle. I really like that. And when it comes to the Ugg boot, for me, it's a look thing. I actually really enjoy the look of the UGG boot, but also as far as just practically how it feels, how it shoots, how the recoil impulse is with the stock, I absolutely love the stock. I have no plans on changing out the UGG boot. I actually really like that, and for me, it just works. I feel like with this stock, you either love it or you hate it. I do have the Ergo grip on here as well, and I'm rocking a Huberworks Rhodesian colored print sling there. And I really, really dig just the sling, the rifle, everything as a whole. I didn't think I would like the Razor on here. I'm just not an LPVO type of guy. I just rarely ever run those. But I'm actually really surprised to say that the Razor was absolutely glorious on this rifle. And the moment I took the first few rounds off was the moment I was like, I am absolutely not changing this out. Now, I did add on a Trijicon RMR up here. That was not something that came on this package overall. And you'll notice the Holosun Iris. I wanted this to be my be-all, end-all, one ring to rule them all type of rifle. And for that consideration, I wanted it to have a night vision capabilities. So obviously having an LPVO for night vision use is not ideal, but having a top mounted red dot is perfect. I have the proper distance up here. I can kind of hover my tube above the LPVO. And then I also have my Holosun Iris. Now I have not shot this rifle under night vision at night, so we will see if all of those theories end up kind of working out, but I also believe that the added weight of everything up at the front of the rifle will actually help aid in reducing overall felt recoil even more. So I'm very curious to see how that works with the added rail coming soon. The Geisley trigger was horrifying at the range. The amount of speed you can dump 20 rounds of .308 out of this rifle at a distance is horrifying. It really is. I mean, you are shooting such a powerful cartridge in CQB distances, minus the amount of concussion, at such speed that I don't even think it's a huge detriment to have only 20 rounds. It is impressive how this rifle shoots. And I think people mess it up because they look at this rifle as like a 600+ yard DMR slow fire rifle. And I think you actually mess it up a little bit, dude. I think that what you need to look at this rifle for is like 100 yards and in, dude. Just raining hate out of this rifle. That's what I see this rifle as. And in that role, I think this thing absolutely shines. I'm not even caring about the 2 failures that it had. I don't think that's a big deal, and I think those will not happen again with the proper circumstances. I was shooting this on a horribly cold and rainy day. This was getting just pummeled by weather, and it absolutely survived with flying colors. Zero issues of any type, and I'm very excited to get it back out to the range. Thank you for riding along with me on the story of this first impressions video. There will be many more videos to come very soon about this rifle. We're talking in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you have any other questions about this rifle or anything else on the channel, please throw them down below in the comment section. I will read them, try my best to get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description for the ways to support the channel, and as always, stay tuned for more great videos coming soon.